do the Showdown Kings. We've got the Saints hosting the Jaguars tonight, and Trevor Lawrence is going to play. He's got a brace on his knee, so I'm jogging a little bit. We'll see your guys' concerns on that. Sikamamba, sup to you as well, I will say. We have a little JBC and his Super Mario. The thing is, JBC, I'm so old, I actually played the original Super Mario. So brings back good memories. What's going on with you, man? I know you like the Saints a little bit tonight, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I think Lawrence's knee is pretty compromised. I mean, that brace does not look good. I mean, he was moving around all right, but I don't know.
You're not down with it right now. You're a little off of them because of that. Where are you, Stats? Where are you on the Jaguars right now? What side are you on tonight? What do you think of Lawrence?
I'm with him on the Saints side. I mean, I kind of like the Saints either way coming into this game, but I mean, this just kind of pushes it over the edge for me. I mean, he's not a running quarterback, but he does rely on his mobility quite a bit. So I think he's going to be compromised here in this game. So yeah, I'm on this Saint defense is pretty good. So I've been saying that this week. I mean, you see the totals obviously pretty low, so that we're not expecting a bunch of points. I think the Saints win this game tonight.
I don't think it really has any bearing on tonight, but the Saints have gone to the under 12 straight times, and they're 6-0 to the under this year. Really interesting that a lot of the games in JBC these Thursday night, really all of the primetime games have been slogfest, haven't they? Just nasty games.
Yeah, except for the Bears. The Bears in Washington was the only good one I could think of. But, you know, it's like, which is funny. But, yeah, I mean, especially these Thursday games, you know, teams don't have time to get healthy. And, you know, I mean, it's obviously built into the line a little bit. But, you know, it has come down from 42 to 40. So probably see another low-scoring slop fest.
What do you think, Stats? Any thoughts on the total tonight? I know you guys like the Saints a lot, but is it going to be a nasty game, or might we actually have a shootout?
I can't see a shootout here. I don't love either side. I think that 40 and a half is pretty much right where it should be. But yeah, listen, this is we mentioned it like the first week or second week in the year. My mom says you got to listen to my mom. My mom says Thursday night games, nobody scores. And, you know, she sticks by it. This is the woman who will sit Justin Jefferson on a Thursday night because she's afraid he won't score points. So
how's that working out for her?
No, well, now he's hurt, so she's not happy about it at all. But she has made some of those silly moves before in the past, and then she doesn't do it, and she'll text me and be like, you know, when they're having a bad game, she's like, I told you. She goes, I know I'm supposed to play them, but I told you they don't score on Thursday nights.
I mean, she's right. And she does she know shit, or she get lucky?
No, dude. I don't, dude. She kind of knows. Like, she drafted Puka in my league this year. Like, she's pretty sharp. Like, I don't think that she's definitely not dumb.
No, she's not dumb. But you know what it is? She's just smart. Like, she's not totally sharp, but she knows more than the average person because she listens to like a lot of fantasy stuff. She watches stuff on YouTube. She listens, but she doesn't. She's very typical of how a lot of people who listen to a lot of content and information, but don't quite understand how to process it properly.
Yeah.
So that's my mom. So she hears the name. She heard the name Puka, and so she drafted him. And then when she did, she was like, I don't think anyone else in this league knows who Puka is. I think I just stole him. And then she turned out to be right. But, you know, so she knows enough, but she doesn't really know how to process it. So it is too.
I need to see if she beat me this year already. Oh, no. I've got her 2 weeks from now. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Jody wants him on the show, Stats. He wants her on the show.
That would be
John's mother or his father.
No. Yeah, he's never yeah, getting my mom on would be interesting. Down here. Well, she'll be down. They're coming down next week for my birthday, but she's gonna miss the show. They'll be here later on Thursday night.
Is she in a league with other elderlies? Like, is this a 70?
She's in the league with JBC.
Oh gosh, come on!
And she's won it like 3 out of 6 years.
Dude, she whoops my ass on the regular in the season-long league, man. I don't know how she does it. Probably with her magazine. What's the Athlon magazine or whatever the fuck the brand is? They got the ones that are printed in like May.
Oh yes, she actually does. She does magazines. Yeah, they print them out in like January. So my brother will send me pictures. Like she'll be sitting at the pool with the magazine in June like reading the magazine. I'm like, everything you're reading in there is useless.
Yes. But she reads a newspaper, probably.
Tony brought one of those to the 50K best ball draft.
You got to be kidding me. He brought like the Athlon season preview?
He bought it in the airport. Yeah, he bought it in the airport.
He's like standing next to Yuta, and he's got the fucking magazine.
Are you kidding me?
No, really
How's his team doing, JVC? Do you know how his team's
doing? Well.
He's winning.
No.
God damn it. That's it. Next year I'm buying a Athlon
He has the Miami guy that got hurt, Achane or whatever it is.
Yeah, those things literally drop in June.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, J. Ruff made fun of him too. All right, good. You deserve to, but he's winning. So
such a good gimmick, man.
The method to the madness. You know what's interesting about old people stats? You and I, and at JBC, I don't think you remember this. Like when we started playing fantasy, late '90s stats, people made fun of us. Like we were a bunch of nerds and dorks. The broadcasters in the early 2000s would be like, fantasy football. And now look at the business we're in, man. It's booming.
It's crazy. No, I thought it was the nerdiest. I actually did it in the early 90s in college in baseball because one of my fraternity brothers' dads was in a league whose dad was probably younger than I am now, but his dad was in a league and we went out to Jersey to some hotel conference room and drafted the team. I'm like, this is the nerdiest shit I've ever seen. And now here we are doing it for a living. So yeah, it was great. Listen, the first football league I was ever in, you used to have to call a service. You'd call up to find out if you won or not on a Tuesday morning. They'd compile the stats, and then you'd get it mailed to you, snail mail, on Thursday with all the results.
Oh man, we just had to write them out. You know, it was look at the newspaper and shit. Big T, when you cornered me at the company party, I said no, and I'm going to say it once again. No, I will not do that to you. No, I will not. Find somebody else, my friend. Oh, Mangone's in the house. Good to see you. Good to see you, Mangone. What's the bet tonight? Al, money's out there. All right, screw this. We got to get into this. We bullshitted enough. JVC, can I get some overall thoughts on the game before we get into captains and the other stuff?
Despite it being a low-scoring game, there's a lot of good skill position players on the slate. I mean, Olave, Ridley, Kirk, Thomas, Kamara, Etienne, Ingram, Taysom Hill, the GOAT. There's a lot of options, and I think that a lot of them are going to score decently. But you just got to think that they just struggle so bad in the red zone. The Saints in the red zone are just miserable.
Yeah, it's not been good. We do have a Jaguars team that's a pass funnel. I wonder if you guys are on any receivers there. Stats, how do you think this game goes tonight? I have no good read on it whatsoever. Thursday night. Ugh.
Yeah, I mean, it's Hickey. I'm typically not a defense and kicker guy, but I think they're in play here tonight. I don't like the quarterback certainly for captain spot, but this is weird. It's like there's a lot of good plays. The thing I like about this slate is both of these teams you kind of know where they go with the ball, so they're kind of narrow where they go. So I don't like any of there's no real great cheap option that I like. Are you going to say Jimmy Graham? Is that the guy?
No, Agnew.
Agnew's the other. Yeah. Agnew's a guy people like here, but there's not. I'm not in love with any of these. But I've liked cheaper guys a lot more in the past. But I think you're going to need one. One of them's going to have to step up here because you're going to have to save salary somewhere. And we'll see where that's going to be. But I think we're looking at either a running back or wide receiver here in the captain spot this week. I don't think there's any. I'll never say no shot. I didn't like the chances of Dak getting being the captain, but he ran one in, right? So now you're limited because now Lawrence is probably not going to run one in. I mean, you can take that off the table. Carr very rarely does. So I mean, without that, I think both of these quarterbacks are out of play to be the captain.
All right, so the defense. Yeah, go for it.
The one counterpoint I'll make to that is that the pricing is weird tonight. Lawrence and Carr are both too cheap. They're so that may be a reason to play them at captain. And likewise on what you were talking about, the kickers are crazy expensive.
They are. And
it's just very strange how they price this. And then the Saints defense is 5,400, but the Jaguars are 3,800. It's very I like the Jaguars defense a lot more than the Saints just because it's 1,600 less. It's a weird price.
You going to captain any defensive kickers tonight, JBC? No. Ugh. It's just been every week you get crushed when you don't have it. At some point in time, it's going to break. at some point in time is going to break. Hopefully that's tonight. But you could play a little defense at kickers, just no captain.
Oh, you definitely have to play.
Defense is almost unplayable though. 5,400.
Yeah, but Jacksonville, I think is the number one. Not that it matters, but I think they're the number one scoring defense, or they're the number one in turnovers, I believe, so far this year. I don't know if they're number one in scoring, but listen, defense is the toughest thing to predict. But I agree with. I like Jacksonville a little bit more than the Jacksonville defense for the money a little bit more than Saints.
All right, subscribers, hit us up in the live show chat. I will get to some of these questions in the YouTube chat as well. Like button would be much appreciated. Helps us out with some algorithm. And make sure you sign up for Run Pure Sports, RPS 15% off. Things are going well. Do I think New Orleans run D is actually good or just facing bad offenses?
They're good. I think New Orleans is good. New Orleans is better than they've performed, I think.
Is Jacksonville as good as they've performed these last few weeks?
I was higher on Jacksonville before the season than I am now. I haven't really liked how they've looked.
Okay. Let's break down this captain's pool. Okay, boys, we'll start with JBC. Of course, Kamara's got to be in the mix. Actually, I'm looking here. You've got quite a few captains tonight. Who's your favorite? And let's break down the rest of the list as well, JBC.
I mean, Kamara's my favorite captain. They like to give him the ball a lot. He's very good at football. There's really nobody else that's playing tonight that's better than him. And you can afford it. It's not like his price is so crazy prohibitive that you can't play him. So I definitely think that Kamara is the best option.
Anybody else you're excited to play a captain tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I like the Jaguars receivers a lot. Ridley and Kirk, with what's his fuck being out, J.J. Jones. I like them. I like them at captain because they're going to get more target share than they normally would. Ingram's okay for cheap. I like Olave and Michael Thomas as well. Michael Thomas hasn't been getting the ball as much as he probably should be, but I don't hate it at the price. But there's just so many options tonight. You can even, as I said earlier, you can actually play the quarterbacks at captain because Carr's only 8,800. Like it's not some weird thing to do this time because they just priced it so shitty.
Where are you going to captain tonight, Stats? Give me a handful of guys. Who's your favorite first?
Yeah, I agree with the Kamara being my favorite, and for pretty much the same reasons that JBC said. But I like ETN maybe as my second. Let me throw this out there with just as an angle, right? So if Lawrence is unable to run as he usually is, the dump offs are going to have to go, right? So those plays that he normally scrambles may become dump offs, and those are the plays that maybe ETN gobbles up. So I think maybe ETN gets a little bit more looks in the passing game today than maybe he normally does. So I really like both running backs, and Kirk's my favorite receiver on the Jacksonville side. And of course, listen, Olave is always going to be in play. So those are my big ones there. But I think it's going to be running back, wide receiver. That's a pretty big group of players. But I think you have to be a little. I think if you're MME and you're going to have a large group here, you're just going to get rid of basically kickers, defense, and the quarterbacks for me.
Stats, I'm going to come right back at you. Etienne Kamara. We know JBC's on Kamara. He likes him a lot. Where are you on the two stud running backs tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be more Kamara, but I'll be closer to as far as at the captain spot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I think you could be in the teens on Kamara and maybe a little bit more, 15 to 20, and maybe right around 15 on ETN.
ETN's just getting a ton of work. Tank Bigsby will get some carries at the goal line, but he also put the ball on the ground, and it doesn't seem like the training or the coaching staff really likes him, JBC. So if you're looking for a guy that's going to have the ball a ton in his hands, it's probably ATN, right?
Yeah, ATN. He has I think I saw he had the most touches in the league so far this year. Because of what you said, Bigsby just, he fumbled, and they seem like they don't like him. So they've just been giving it to ATN over and over and over. And, with Lawrence not being able to move, he's going to get the ball more in the running game too. So ATN, I don't hate him. He's just, I think Kamara is better on DraftKings scoring with the receiving, but ATN is not a bad play at all.
Parabay, yes. The Saints are missing both of their tackles tonight. So This is a great conversation we should have more often too, because I think that, well, we talk about the tackle position. We've done this on Pick and Winners, which is tomorrow, 3:30 Eastern time. The left tackle is going to move a line, or should move a line more than a stud wide receiver or running back or anybody on defense, JBC. So I wonder how you cap that with both tackles down. But on the other side, you saw where the Giants 2 weeks ago got absolutely manhandled. Last week, they had no offensive line again, but somehow with Tyrod Taylor, they managed to stay in the game and not get him killed. So it's a fine line you juggle with the injuries here. How are you handling the Saints without their offensive line? Because you still like them nonetheless.
Yeah, I mean, it's not quite as important as I would say it usually is, because I don't think their offensive line is that good to begin with. So I don't know that the depth issue is really going to come into play as much as it would for a team like, like Green Bay with Bakhtiari, how they just can't fucking block if he's not in there. I don't think it's going to matter that much.
Any thoughts on a couple of tackles being down here for the Saints? And then there were possibly 2 guards out for the Jaguars, but there's only one out now. So talk to me here about the Saints offensive line and how that affects your thoughts on the game tonight, Stats.
Yeah, again, it's not going to sway me all that much on this one. I mean, the reason I'm on the Saints is more on the defensive side of the ball. I think it's going to be a grind out game. And like JBC said, I mean, you look at, I think we have a harder time trying to figure out what that drop off is in line play. A lot of times we'll look at the quarterback, like if Patrick Mahomes is out, like we know there's a big differential when you get down to the backup. But this is probably more in the line of like Richardson to Minshew or even Jones to Taylor. Like it's not that big of a drop off. I'm not too concerned about it. So and just with the usage, of these running backs, I think we just get enough touches on the ball in a low scoring game that the backs will still be worth it.
All right, so let's get to the util spot. What are your thoughts on playing both quarterbacks tonight? Because you said you can get some salary there. Yeah, are we on 2 quarterback builds tonight, and how much?
I've got 2 quarterback builds. Let me see. Let's see. Roughly like a third of my builds are double quarterback.
Okay.
It's pretty high. It's a lot higher than normal. Just because, they're cheap enough where you can actually fit it in there. So it makes sense.
Stats, you're shaking your head. Yeah. Both quarterbacks.
No, I mean, it makes sense just because of the price. Like, I don't really love, we've gone over it. I don't love the quarterbacks in this game, but yeah, I mean, you're going to have to have builds like that in there. I don't know exactly what the number would be. I'm just trying to look now, but 33 seems a little bit high, but I can totally understand where he's coming from on that.
All right, JBC, let's talk about it. If you're not captaining Kamara, he's there. Etienne, Lawrence, Olave, Carr, Ridley, and Christian Kirk. I think a lot of us are on Christian Kirk tonight. Evan Engram, maybe because of the price tag of $5,800 on DraftKings. We'll talk about FanDuel as well, guys and girls. Michael Thomas. Out of that first handful of guys that you listed here on your playbook, on your tournament plays, who are the guys that really stand out to you?
I mean, they're all very good. That's the problem tonight.
Yeah.
You have a million options. Kamara, Etienne, Olave, Ridley, Kirk, Thomas, Ingram are all good plays. On a different slate, they might be like, a max out type play, but there's so many of them that I hate the kickers today. Like way more than I usually do. Like I have way less kicker than I usually have, just because, how are you going to rationalize playing a kicker at 5,200 when Evan Ingram's right there at 5,800? Like it doesn't make any sense. So yeah, fuck kickers. And that's basically it.
That was good.
Abe, I didn't know that there was a hurricane approaching Mexico. Don't go dying on us, pal. So Stats, how about you, man? We've got JBC's core and his tournament plays up there. I'm just going to throw a handful of names out there at you, and you tell me how many you like. Engram, Hill, Thomas, Kirk, Ridley, Carr, Olave, Lawrence, Etienne, Kamara. From there on up. And I'd like for you to start with Taysom Hill. How much Taysom Hill this evening?
Yeah, I mean, Taysom.
Timeout. Did I ask the wrong? JBC just started. He had a shit-eating grin on his face. The second I said Taysom Hill to you, what am I missing, guys? What am I missing?
Taysom Hill fucking sucks.
I know
I don't know why they gave him the ball so much, but they do. We were having this conversation in the projections chat earlier. It was just like, God, he fucking sucks, but they keep throwing him the ball, so you got to play him.
All right, stats.
No, I mean, that's the thing. But they gave him last week. He was seeing the ball. I mean, they get him the ball in the red zone. That's the more important thing. Like he gets red zone opportunities, and it takes away from Kamara, and it just, I mean,
I hate him. I hate him.
It pisses you off. But yeah, and easily on a slate like this where touchdowns might be at a premium, he's in play. I mean,
6,200. I'm still playing him like almost.
You have to play him.
Fucking hate it.
Yeah.
And he's more expensive than Evan Ingram.
Yeah, that's
what was his touchdown prop? I think it was like 290 the last time I looked at it.
It's not that bad.
No, and I think Ingram was, what was Ingram? I gotta bring it up
He
again.
really had 8 targets last game.
Yes. There was one point in the game that like
they were down
had 1 target and Taysom had like 7.
They were down, but still. That's absolutely fascinating.
Yeah, Ingram was 295 and Hill was 290. So like they're basically the same projection.
Dude, how did the brainworm transfer from Sean Payton to Dennis Allen? I don't understand.
Jimmy Graham versus Agnew, guys.
Say that again.
Jimmy Graham versus Agnew.
Oh, Agnew big. Yeah.
Big.
With Zay Jones out, Agnew's probably going to get a lot of looks.
Okay. Out once again. Yeah. So let's go through the rest of the guys you like at util stats. Who's standing out to you?
Like I said, I mean, it's really all the big guys. I don't love anyone. I usually love to give you some real cheap plays here, but I don't love any of these guys here. I mean, I like Ingram as well. I mean, I think I'll give you the order, let's say, of the Jacksonville wide receivers. I mean, I like Kirk, then Ridley. I mean, that's the order that I would go on those two guys. I think Kirk playing they're going to go a little. I think the Saints play mostly man-to-man, if I'm not incorrect, right? JBC on this. So I kind of like getting some the slot receiver there against them.
Yeah, press coverage, as we would say, which kind of favors Kirk tonight.
I think it favors Kirk.
I mean, no. Yeah.
Jacksonville's missing their top corner also.
Yeah. Okay. Do we think the New Orleans
breakdown?
Thank you. It was a good one by both of us. Do you think the New Orleans D is actually good or facing bad offenses? Did we do that one already or not?
Well, we sort of did. Well, I wanted to just jump on that. That's if you look at the tool in the RPS, the both tools, the power rankings and the matchups tool, like it takes that into account. So it's those ratings are based on the average of the team that you're playing. So if you play all bad teams, you're not necessarily going to get credit for performing well. It's based on how well you do against the average of what the opponent you play. And yeah, the Saints have performed well, regardless of the competition. So
Sambino, any love for Tank getting into the red zone? Well, I'd say the end zone with a tough Saints front. I mean, if he gets an opportunity, how do you ignore it? But you're shaking your head, JBC.
Not at 2,200 or whatever the fuck he is. He's not minimum cost. No. I mean, like I haven't like a little bit, but not anything worthwhile.
Do you guys play this single game snake draft stuff on FanDuel?
No.
Stats?
Second and third. Who are we assuming goes first? Kamara or Lawrence?
Let's say it's Kamara.
You take whatever quarterback. If it goes Kamara, take both quarterbacks. If it goes Lawrence, take Kamara and the other quarterback.
Let's talk about FanDuel here for a minute because I feel like we've talked a lot about DraftKings. I don't know how much it changes, guys. MVP, though. ATN and Kamara basically the same price, $15,500, $1,500. Cars, $14K. Olave, then it goes Olave, Ridley, Kirk, Thomas. All these guys are just priced in one big lump, right? So is there anything different on FanDuel than there is on DraftKings, JBC?
I think the wide receivers are better on FanDuel than they usually are because they're priced down. And Etienne and Kamara are, 15,500, 15,000. And then all the receivers are 12, 11,500, 11. Michael Thomas is only 10,000. Evan Ingram's 8,500, even Taysom's 8K. Those are so I have a lot more receivers than running backs on FanDuel, which is kind of backward of how it should be, but that's just how it is tonight.
Ingram 8,500. Here's the other guy we need to talk about. Jamal Williams is active. You are not worried about that, JBC. Why?
You mean worried about it like versus
for Kamara? Because you're rolling Kamara. Why aren't you worried about Williams maybe taking goal line or something like that?
I mean, if you want to win the game, you give it to your best player.
Stats? Any thoughts on Williams coming back?
It shouldn't impact Kamara that much. What these guys do down on the goal line sometimes drives me bananas when they do take out their best player at the goal line. But I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. It's Taysom Hill's the more of a problem down at the goal line taking those touchdowns. That's the guy who's going to get them, I think, more than Williams.
Okay, good point. So Jamal Williams is back. Anything else on FanDuel stats?
FanDuel, I mean, go with JBC. I don't look at it too closely, so I don't want to give you too much on there. I haven't looked at them that in depth, but
yeah, New Orleans kicker is only 8,500. The defenses are both 9,000. Those are both a lot better plays on FanDuel than they are on DraftKings. You know, they overpriced the run. Also, Derek Carr is only 14K, which is too cheap for him. So he's a great play over there. That's why I have him as the core MVP. So,
all right. Hey, subs, if you want your questions answered first, go into the live show chat. Leave your question there. Of course, I'm going to get to the stuff here on the YouTube chat as well. Like button would be wonderful. Question is, why is Ingram so popular? And I would say twofold, right? JBC, A, price. B, the guy is one of 4 tight ends to run at least 200 routes this season. He's in the mix.
Well, and their third wide receiver's out, so he might actually get some run out there in the 3 wide receiver sets as a receiver, But I think any pass catcher for Jacksonville is going to get a boost with Zay Jones not being out there.
Pure chaos. Do you play all Saints stud wide receivers tonight in one lineup?
I mean, I don't see why not. As long you could.
Who is that? Thomas Olave? Is he throwing Shaheed in there?
Taysom Hill, bro.
With the Taysom Hill.
And you go to Jacksonville captain though. Go 2-4. Go 2-4 Jacksonville captain and all Saints.
I don't know why you're laughing, but I know I am laughing, JBC. That's all I'll say. Let me see. The Tim Jones experiment. What the hell is the Tim Jones experiment? Somebody tell me. I don't know. He's $200 and he's a full
I mean, I've got him like 4 or 5%, about a third as much as Agnew.
In the premium chat, Austin, thoughts on Fallick's slate plan? So Fallick basically said he's going 5-1. What do you think about 5-1s, 3-3-4-2s? We always talk about this. JBC?
Yeah, for the 100th time, Fallick, shut the fuck up.
Oh, come on.
5-1 is so dumb.
Why?
On a 2-point spread?
Mm-hmm.
Why would you do that?
Yeah, when the 5-1s hit, it's on really large spreads generally, right? So this is not the time to do it. You do it when you get a double-digit spread. That's the time you can take a shot with it, but not on this game.
Saints, Bill Miner, Saints kickers or rookies had trouble with consistency.
Which team is he even stacking 5?
Which team? I think he's going Jacks.
The dog? You're taking the dog.
JBC, this is what we always say to Fallick. We look at him, we say he's a fucking idiot, and then he goes and he ships. And it's just, I get it, man. I get it. But he's the ultimate contrarian thinker. So that's it. You're not. Yeah, now that's right, Brittany. Give K Fallick shipping now. The more we shit on the guy, the more he wins. It's absolutely amazing. Dude, it's fascinating, JB. All right, so we don't agree with the process, but something's there. Boucher, both quarterbacks on FanDuel, question mark.
Yeah, of course. FanDuel, the quarterback scoring is, I mean, you probably want them both.
I want to go down the list here and talk about some of these other guys. So we talked about the kickers. We did get into Jamal Williams. What about, and boy, Big T crossed a lot of these guys out. You got a little sprinkle, though. You got some Agnew, JBC. Moreau, Bigsby, Dearness Johnson, Strange, Tim Jones, Luke Farrell. How about some thoughts on these deep dives?
Yeah, I mean, I spread it around down there because, while there is a lot of cheapness at the top, the builds where you get like 5 of them in there, you need somebody that's dead minimum. So like I think your good lineups, your good lineup structure is going to be like, say you get Kamara at captain with one other stud and Ingram and both quarterbacks, and then somebody that costs nothing. That would be like almost filling the salary, and you need the cheap guy in order to build that way. And so that's why I didn't fade the people down there.
Stats, let's get back into it. I know you've mentioned a little bit, but who are your favorite cheapies tonight?
Yeah, as far as the process goes, I agree with what JBC's saying. Like, you kind of want to have some of these cheap guys. I don't love anyone down there. Now, I like Grant coming in. Like, I like Jimmy Graham and Agnew, and I'm looking now as you guys were talking. I'm looking at it, and it's kind of like their touchdown prop number has been going higher here. Graham, before we started, was at 600 on DraftKings. He's at 750 now. Agnew has gone from 700 up to 800. So I haven't seen where the money's going, like who's getting lower, whose odds are getting lower. Actually, and Kamara went to plus 110. He was minus money earlier. So that's interesting. But
I mean, it could be everybody because the total's coming down.
Has the total dropped even more in the last hour?
It's not under 40.
It went to 41, but I just meant because it was 42. I don't know.
Yeah, I was just looking at it like an hour ago before we came on. I was writing down all the props here for these guys, but yeah, a bunch of them are getting higher. Yeah, so maybe they're just expecting even less points now, because now Ingram's up over is at 310, Taysom Hill at 330. Those guys were at 290 and 295. So yeah, maybe everyone's props getting a little higher. So they're expecting even less touchdowns right now in the market.
Stats, that's every bettor coming in and betting overs. Everybody loves betting overs.
No, if they were betting the overs, these numbers would be coming down. So they're all coming up.
The over-under did go up a half point, but that's just people dancing around.
Trevor Lawrence probably, that news probably moved the line, didn't it?
It didn't, though, because the Saints line has gone up even more. It's like you would have thought when Lawrence was declared in that the line would come down. That's what leads me to believe that his knee isn't all right, because the line has just gone up even more.
Moreau or Williams, last spot cash. Either one of you guys play cash showdowns?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see.
Moreau or Williams?
The fuck?
By the way, the fucking Phillies are about to lose this game.
Neither one. Why are you playing one of those in cash? I just gave you the cash build. Play like Lawrence at captain with Carr and 2 studs, Ingram and Agnew.
What about Kendre Miller? He's the rookie running back. With Jamal Williams coming back, how is he going to get anything?
Yeah, I mean, 1,800, I could see it a little more. Like, he's the same play as Bigsby to me. Like, it's a different type of player, but I think that I have them similar amounts, and you're overpaying a little bit in order to get a guy that the market isn't going to take, basically.
Is it crazy to fade Lawrence, Aram Snyder?
Yeah.
It is crazy.
Yeah.
Stats, you got any lineups without him?
I think I have lineups without him, but
yeah. I mean,
if you're playing 5 lineups like me, how many do you have him in? All 5?
If you're playing 5 lineups, I have no problem with a full fade in 5 lineups. I don't mind that.
Yeah. But I mean, you got to be playing Carr.
Yeah, I would play one of them, but there is an increased possibility. I always like to have a quarterback in there. I think you almost always want to, but if there was ever going to be a time to not play a quarterback, this could be the game.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay, so it is not crazy to fade Lawrence if you're only anybody sprinkle. I love these questions.
Yeah,
anybody sprinkling CJ Beathard in tonight. So if you're playing CJ Beathard, what you're counting on is Trevor Lawrence getting hurt.
You're actually going to. It's actually going to be a poor leverage play, because a lot of people are going to do that tonight.
I'm going to have
I'm
going to have a fucking aneurysm if people.
Yeah, it's actually a poor leverage play tonight. Like, you have a better shot at doing that again with someone who has no chance of injury than you do with a guy who, like, a lot of people.
I'd rather play the Saints backup quarterback.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
You'd also rather play Taysom Hill. So that's in all seriousness, JBC. I've never seen your face turn that red. We haven't known each other that long, but that was wow.
Backup quarterback, man. Oh my God.
You can't do it. Stats. We got any models tonight that we should be talking about? Maybe a little history that we're looking at, or things that we've noticed through the build so far through 6 weeks of Thursday night football. Make it 6 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, I usually like to run for the. I like to see what the teams are doing as far as where they've been at where they've been a captain and whatnot. It's just hard with these teams because you miss Kamara for a bunch of games, and so I didn't think it was going to be all that accurate. So I didn't go through the process for these two tonight. But generally, when you're looking at, we talked about it before, low total, tight line, it favors running backs more. So that type of line favors running back, wide receiver, but the lower the total favors a running back at captain. So I think there's a higher likelihood we get the running back captain, which makes sense. We kind of like Etienne and Kamara tonight. So those would be my if I was single building, five build, something like that, I would be focused on the running back at captain.
Kamara captain, Williams flex. Thoughts, JBC?
I don't see a problem with it.
You don't see a problem with it. Okay. How about you, Stats?
Yeah, absolutely fine with it. Yeah, I mean, in big GPPs for sure. I said you can, and again, I really don't mind going with the captain tonight, being the 2-4 option. So if you like Kamara at the captain, taking a 2-4 Saints to Jacksonville, something like that, I don't mind that tonight, or the other way. If you like ETN going with a 2-4, like. As something, if you're looking to go contrarian, like I like going contrarian in my build as opposed to, I don't see going too far out there tonight with, as far as the options down low and like getting lucky down low. I think it's basically Agnew and Graham. So maybe you just get a little unique with the build.
I know we talked about this already, JBC, but hate the kickers tonight? ?
DraftKings, they're overpriced. They're priced up too much.
But you do like them on FanDuel. Nice
FanDuel.
and cheap tonight. Yeah. Boy, this was an interesting question. What about playing Rashid Shaheed and leaving salary?
I mean, I'm not big on leaving salary, but I don't hate Rashid Shaheed as a play in general. 5,000's fair number. I like him. I like him more than the kickers.
Kamara, ATN, are you got to have one of these in every single lineup too?
No. You just have to have one of the quarterbacks. That's the only.
Just one of the quarterbacks. Okay.
At least quarterback.
Thoughts on Foster Moreau?
I do not think he'll have a bigger role than Taysom Hill. And not from any sort of logic standpoint, but because Dennis Allen's fucking stupid.
Wow. Okay. Want to know a really stupid question? Michael Thomas or Taysom Hill?
Next question.
That's what I thought. Very good. Stats, what are you getting the most at captain tonight?
Yeah, it's going to be Kamara. Kamara's I think it's got to be your highest captain tonight.
Kamara. Okay. By the way, I'm just sweating out this baseball game right now.
Dude, I can't believe that guy just kept fucking throwing it.
Oh my God. JBC's on Arizona. I didn't even know that. I ended up betting it live at Philly at plus money, but dude, this thing is it's been a great baseball game.
Arizona's been really stupid on the base. That's the thing. That's the second time Gurriel's been an idiot on the base pass.
Right.
And they would have won already.
You're 100% right. No doubt about that. All right, let's keep rolling on here. We'll take some more questions as well. But boy, this baseball game is, I don't know, guys. I might have a little bit more interest in the Astros Rangers tonight. I might be watching that just as much as the football game.
Listen, I am an Astros fan, and I'm still going to watch the football game.
Well, I mean, I'm going to watch both, but I think my eyes might be glued to the baseball game after a little while.
Maybe towards the end of the game.
Props. Stats has his player props tonight. He's been crushing player props. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, I don't like any props in the football game, but yeah, we've been kind of backing the Astros all the way here. So
yeah. may or may not have a premium play on the Astros tonight.
You may or may not, and I may or may not have tailed your premium play tonight on the Astros, which leads me into this. For those of you watching and you're not members, you've not subscribed to Run Pure Sports, I don't know what you're waiting for. And I'll get to the bet side in a second, but DFS side, we've got all our Showdown. I mean, there's like 9 different lineups to choose from. You'll get Big T and JBC's captain pool, the whole pool, a slate plan. It's just ridiculous how much we give you for Showdown. Obviously on Sundays, our best out here, given their cores as well. It's not just NFL. We're still going with baseball. We got World Series Showdown coming up before you know it. We've all been playing Showdown here during the playoffs as well. NBA.
Yesterday.
What's that?
Third and Schlong. He hit the 50K on the MLB Showdown yesterday.
Oh, way to go, Schlong. I'll see him tomorrow on the Cash Show. Good job, Schlong. I didn't know that. Total stud for third and Schlong as well. So that's just the DFS side. You move over to the bet side.
Shit, hold in.
Huh? This is the game over?
Yeah, Arizona
You
won.
motherfucker. Why you got to ruin it for me? The bet side, there you go. JBC gets another one. We've got premium plays. If you're a volume better, there's volume betting. If you're not a volume better, we got stuff. And it's all sports. You know, we got, what do we got here? We got hockey. You're really posting the hockey stuff. Still baseball in the playoffs, NFL, college football.
UFC. College basketball's coming up. NBA's coming up.
Oh, I can't wait for
Rice is throwing some tennis stuff out there.
Rice is throwing the tennis in there.
Oh, and hey, you don't know who Kurt is, but he's got the EuroLeague winners. I'm not kidding.
EuroLeague.
He hit another one today.
Yeah. Kurt works hard as fuck, man.
He does.
These player prop, there's nobody's minus money now for a touchdown now on DraftKings. ETN just flipped to plus 105.
Why do you think that is?
Probably because they can't fucking score.
Nope. They're not expecting scoring.
They're just not good in the red zone. Neither of these teams are any good in the red zone. Which
double.
Means, you know who's about to score? Taysom fucking Hill.
Taysom Hill. Double kicker.
Double kicker. FanDuel, Kirk or Ridley.
How about both?
Yeah, I've got one of them I have 29.3%. The other one I have 28.7%. So that solves nothing.
Would you play them both?
Yeah. They're cheap. They're cheap over there.
Someone asked before, I don't know, it scrolled through like, can you play Kirk Ridley with 4 Saints? I assume on DraftKings, but
yeah, why not?
Yeah, as long as one of those Saints is Carr.
Yeah.
My issue is that I'm not going to have enough Rashid Shaheed, and I'm a little scared of that. I don't know if I should be, but I am.
I don't have a lot either, but he's the big play potential's there, but he's only going to get a couple looks.
Okay. Thoughts on Saints minus 2.5? It's weird to me. Did that hook? Did the hook pop up here because it was 2?
Yeah, it's going up. I mean, I may or may not have a premium play on the Saints.
Don't give it away. Yeah, it's 2.5 everywhere now. 2.5 just about everywhere. So that's interesting, to say the least. Lawrence or ATN, if you had to pick one?
Lawrence.
My favorite thing about the bets package is winning NHL, MLS, and not knowing anything about either. We have MLS plays?
Oh, bro, I kill MLS.
Let me tell you something about bet. Like,
you think
when you start betting,
it's numbers on a fucking sheet.
Exactly. But when you start betting, you start to learn. Like, I didn't know. At the time, the most money I ever made at one time was World Cup. I didn't know a player on a team.
2014 World Cup.
I bet Costa Rica to come out of their
it was the group of death. Costa Rica was 50-1 to win the group.
England, Italy, and I'm trying to think who
it was somebody else really good, like Spain or something. Like
they won the group. I had them at 35-1 to win the group and to come out of the group. And I worked for the French. I worked on Wall Street at a French firm, and these guys in Paris were like messaging me. They're like, who you betting? Blah blah blah. I tell them Costa Rica, and they go, dude, if Costa Rica wins that group, we're going to put a big picture of you up in the Paris office. And then they just lost their mind. I'm like, I don't know shit, but it's all numbers up. But my point, actually, that's not why I brought this up. My point is it's great because you start to learn about all these other sports. So it becomes fun. I know more about soccer now. I know more about tennis and UFC just from betting this stuff. And it's not fun if you don't like soccer was never fun to watch, but you put money on it. It's a great fucking sport to bet. It's
I
fun.
like betting on
It
soccer. It's way less stressful than and I think football's a similar way because basketball it's like you're constantly covering and not covering, covering and not covering, covering and not covering, and like the games don't really matter until the fourth quarter. Whereas in soccer, like one goal at the very beginning of the game is huge, so it makes the whole game entertaining rather than just the end.
Mangone, I have pics of John hung up in the office from Showdown and the Vegas.
San Diego,
I should say. Yeah.
John was man.
It's a little creepy. I'm gonna be honest with you.
John and the females, dude.
Well, I slept with Mangone on that trip.
That's also true.
Yes. We snuggled the whole time.
Yeah. The room only had 2 beds.
Move along. Saints D or a kicker piece?
I don't like the Saints defense at that price.
Yeah. Okay. Luke Farrell, our first Luke Farrell question of the year.
I mean, let's see. Luke Farrell, I have 1.3%.
Brandon, is there another kind? I mean, obviously.
One or two on the screen here.
Wait, what are we doing? Slept with like fornicated?
Yeah. I'm like,
yeah.
You
I said what I said.
Yeah. He said what he said.
He's been working out. That must have been a lot of fun for you. Stats.
Hey, Stats has been working out too. I can't move my arms right now, but I have been working out.
Yeah.
It's you.
Yeah.
You know who hasn't been working out? Me.
Those two guys.
I'm working out. I just wonder.
It looks like he works out a little bit.
Yeah, I go to the gym 4 days a week, man. 1 day of cardio and 3 days of lifting. Now I'm not, I'm not gigantic or anything, but I love working out. It's fun. Can you talk about single lineup and where we get different? Sure. Why not?
I mean, I as I said earlier, I think the way to get different is to spread it out at the base. Your 400, 200 cost guys. One of them's probably going to hit. Your Agnew, Tim Jones, Keith Kirkwood, Moreau, Jimmy Graham, Strange area. Play like Agnew is obviously going to be popular. The other ones might not be so much. So that like playing somebody like Kirkwood or Elijah Cooks might get you different, and they might catch a long one.
Yeah, any thoughts on that, Stats, or just move along?
No, I mean, look, there's a few ways you could always get different. Like I said, there's the builds where you go like, you do something different where you're captain, and then you go, 2-4 where your captain is the part of the 2. Or, I mean, there's so many options at captain this week that, just taking someone who's worthy of a captain spot, not going crazy and throwing the kicker in there. You could still get a pretty decent captain at low ownership. So I don't think this is the type that you have to get too crazy to be different tonight on this slate. It's not like you have two must-have captains and you're going to go, nuts. So I think you've got one of like 5-6 captains that you can play here tonight. Take one of the lesser owned ones, maybe go with one of the Jacksonville wide receivers, something like that. Or,
Snyder talking some shit. What's up, Snyder? Good to see you.
Who definitely doesn't work out? Snyder.
What do you mean? Snyder works out.
Look
at that mug too.
I'm not talking about doing cardio.
Look, Snyder, dude. That guy.
How much do we think Snyder can bench?
First of all, he weighs about 140 pounds.
That's what I'm saying.
He was all muscle and skin.
Yeah, he runs a lot.
You think he runs a lot? He said he was lifting. He almost killed Mangone at the party.
Well, that's not that hard to do.
He had a leverage. That's a leverage thing because of the height differential.
Oh,
how tall is Snyder?
No, they're both.
I don't know, but guys. I mean,
they're both 5'5".
I know how tall Mangone is.
Yeah, I always think of Holden as being really tall in my
People
mind.
always say that. I've actually shrunk from 5'9.5" to 5'8".
So I'm taller than you.
Now you are. How tall are you?
Like I'm a 5'9", like closer to 5'10" than I am to
5'8". Maybe like 10 years ago we would have been the same height. I truly believe it's because I did HGH when I was a little kid, because I was the shortest kid, and it sprouted me up, but now my fucking body's coming back down.
Oh,
but
dude,
I don't care.
I need to do fucking HGH. It sounds awesome.
It is. It's great for you. Yeah, you should do it. Just start pumping it. Just go to the gym, though, to help you recover really fast. Apone. Is he shoving 3 up our... Wow, Apone. That was graphic. Do you mean 3 touchdowns? Fingers? What do you think he means, JBC?
I think he was implying that he has 3 penises.
It was either 3 touchdowns or 3 points. I don't know which way he's going, but I do know the Astros are off to a good start. So this is good for us, guys. Corey Holt. What up, Corey? Kamara captain, Jags D, and Kirk, or Kirk captain, McManus Kamara?
Sorry, repeat.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a
Are you having? I was checking the baseball game.
It's okay. Kamara, Jags D, and Kirk, or Kirk captain, McManus Kamara?
Kamara captain, Jags D, and Kirk.
Okay. Yes, more HGH the better. I'm 100% there with you. I think everybody should try it under doctor's supervision. There's no question. If you go in our NFL chat right now, for some reason they're talking about perms, so that's completely off the fucking hook. For those of you that are just joining us, because JBC, here's what goes on. You know, people at the beginning of the show leave, people at the end of the show come in. So let's just do a quick summation of what we did. We'll start with your favorite captains and then run down the util real quick, please.
Favorite captains in order. This is my captain player pool. Kamara, Etienne, Kirk, Thomas, Ridley, Ingram.
Stats, captain, and the utils.
It's going to be pretty similar. Kamara, Etienne, Kirk, Ridley, Ingram. I think, is that exactly what he said?
You didn't say Thomas. I said Thomas.
Did I miss Thomas? Yeah, Thomas.
Cash.
Yeah, I mean, Thomas is right after that.
Bregman, cash the prop stats, another win. JBC gets the
triple.
Diamondbacks home.
Did he hit Bregman hit a home run, or
no? He had a two-run triple. Didn't we have RBIs?
We have RBIs. Yeah.
So cash that one at like plus 240 or something like that. Dude, the bet side.
Jordan.
Oh, we need a Jordan too. RBI. Did we get it?
An RBI single.
Beautiful. We just cashed. So we just cashed 2 props from the bet side, folks. Nice. Statsational, Gary. They've been killing it so far. RPS 15 if you want 15% off your first payment. When uploading lineups, go unique random or unique rank for best possible top scoring line and best contest. It's over my head, JBC. I don't even understand the question.
So unique random or unique rank?
Yeah.
I don't know what unique rank is.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, we're just too confused. All right, so I'm not the only one. That's good. Derek Carr get hurt? Hope not, but then Hill comes in and murders the slate. Badgers, this goes back to what we were talking about earlier. People are going to play CJ Beathard on that.
What if they put in Taysom Hill for Carr if he gets hurt? Boom.
So
that's what he was saying.
You get receiving equity and you get backup quarterback equity.
No, that's what he was saying. He's like, what if Carr gets hurt and they use Hill? But they won't. They'll use.
What's with you guys with Taysom Hill? You just can't quit him, JB. You and Tony do you sit around?
I don't. Tony loves him. Tony wants to suck him off. I hate him.
Oh, you hate him because the way you've been talking about it, I thought you loved Taysom Hill.
Like, I don't hate the play, but like I hate him as a person.
Yes, Spencer. Yes. Usually Friday nights when the kids are not here, we'll get a little freaky with the thong. Betting question. I'm authentic with a whole bunch of numbers. Etienne, would that be under 64.5? Yeah. And minus 2.5 Saints if you want to go with a little same game.
I mean, I like the Saints. I don't have an opinion on the Etienne problem.
What do you think, Stats? Does Etienne eat on the ground or is this defense just too tough?
I have a slight lean to that over. So I don't like it as a play, but definitely don't like the under.
Okay. Is Jameis Winston still with the Saints? Yeah. Yeah. As a matter of fact, didn't he played a bit when what's his name? Derek, when Carr went down.
Played like a whole game. I think it was against Green Bay, played like a half, maybe.
Yeah. We'll stay on for another couple of minutes if you got any questions. Thomas or Hill, GPP flex?
Thomas
pretty easily, right?
Yeah.
By the way, again, thank you, Stats. Thank you. I know you said you were having a little rough go of it. You have bounced back in a huge way. All the money that may or may not have not gone out the door has been made.
It will all come back
and doubled.
We're playing big, guys you got to be patient when you're playing these big, big plus money plays. I mean, you're going to go through, a damn bad stretch playing 50-50 plays on the spread, let alone playing plus 200s and plus 250s.
We had Lithuania plus 850 the other day. They were up 2-0 in like the 80th minute and gave up 2 goals.
Yes.
Brutal.
Oh,
that is brutal.
Really? All right, you'll get the bets and the DFS side, RPS 15% off your first payment. Again, the team's doing a great job here, and I'm looking forward to making some more money. JBC as a premium play in this game, so if you haven't bet the game yet, make sure you have that. Coming in late, apologies. Are the guys fading Lawrence tonight?
No, we're not fading Lawrence.
There's zero fadage of the Lawrence. All right. JBC, have we done the show long enough?
No, we go until kickoff.
God damn it, JBC. I've got to take 2 televisions downstairs, hook them up. Come on.
Plus 150 for a Kamara anytime touchdown seems high, yeah.
Plus 150 is really, he's like plus 105, plus 110 on
DraftKings. You know what I hate, though? I'll tell you what I hate is when they have these specials and they're like, oh, ATN to score a touchdown, boosted, Kamara boosted. They know something that we don't. I literally look at the specials before I bet.
John did a study on this. John did a study.
I did. I'm like, I started following the boost plays for like, I don't know, 3-4 months.
What? And
if you faded them, you had to fade them. Like the boosts should have, they should have just produced winners just for the pure fact. Like, and I was doing it. Trust me, I was like, not just taking any old boost. I was trying to look. So I was following them. And you were losing money, even though they looked to be, to me.
So fading it was nasty good.
Yeah, they were fading the boost plays is a very wise idea.
All right, check us out tomorrow. Picking winners. We will go down 10 NFL games. We'll bet. We'll talk about the sides, the totals, everything going on in those games. 5 or 6 college plays as well. We've got a minute and a half till lock, so I'm leaving right now. For JBC. For Statsational, I'm Holden. Everybody keep running pure. Thanks for checking us out.